All right, so obviously that did not work out. So I'm just going to start that last bit over again with number one. So here are some of the things that I do every single day to take care, sort of like my spiritual, my energetic hygiene, okay? Number one is to keep your density low. Have some kind of a process every day where you are releasing things that have kind of built up, like resentments or if you have something that bothered you throughout the day. And obviously, at a higher level, like Million Dollar Babe and above, you have this ritual daily, hopefully, already established, because that's really essential when you are in those lower levels. So what I do is I have a journaling routine, and I also have a daily meditation routine. I also work out almost every day. There are some days where it's more of a placeholder workout just because of my habit, but I try to work out every day, and that can also help me release energy. But have something where you are, lowering your density. And what I mean by that, think of a person that's really angry and upset and has years of resentment and unforgiveness. Like, their energy just feels heavy. You've encountered people like that where you're just like, you can just tell that that person's energy is like super heavy and like bogged down, versus think of like a little baby, right? Like their energy is very light. They haven't had time to form all of these resentments and heaviness and trap emotions in their body. And so that's why everyone's so magnetically attracted towards babies, is because of this like clean slate. But you can do that at any age. The more women do inner work with me and really, let go of those past trapped emotions, resentments, unforgiveness, like all kinds of things that they might be holding on to, deconditioning themselves, they just become lighter in their energy. So I do have a daily routine. Like, let me give you an example. Yesterday, I was going to pick up my son from school, and this woman, it wasn't like she was cutting me off. She literally like killed me in the way that she cut me off. And then she just stood there honking at me. Like, it was just the most weirdest, jarring experience ever. Because, I mean, we all drive and we're all used to people honking or cutting us off. But this was just like, just pure evil in a car. It's just what it felt like. These kind of things don't normally bother me. And so because she was blocking my way anyways and just honking like a mad woman, I made sure to look at who it was. And when I looked, it was the most obese woman I've ever seen in my life in person. I've seen women this size on TV, on reality shows, but she was just so overweight that it just caught me off guard. And secondly, her face was like frozen in this kind of anger that takes decades to imprint. It wasn't like, I'm angry at you right now. It was like, I have decades of anger that I'm carrying with me. And it was just such a scary manifestation of seeing what can happen when you trap all of these emotions. And even her weight, it was a way of her trying to protect herself with like layering up all of this extra fat to try to protect whatever was going on internally and keep it from showing up, because she was afraid. A part of us was afraid to deal with it. But anyways, I got myself out of that situation and went to school. But it's been a long time since I've had to like sit, like just like pull over and be like, whew, okay, right? And so when my son got in the car, one of the things I did is I shared that experience with him, and he was like, oh my God, Mom. And I'm like, it's so scary that she was like on the school grounds. Like, I wonder if she was like picking up a child or just walking past. And so that was a way of me just kind of like, releasing that energy in a safe space. This was my projector son. So he's a very kind of like safe space to kind of share something like that. When I got home, I just like quickly just kind of journaled and just like released that experience from my body, because even though it was a very small little thing, I didn't want it to like leave kind of an imprint on me or get trapped in me in any way. I'll be right back. Okay, so do some kind of a ritual daily if you can to release. Now, I don't advise using venting. Venting is not a good way to release kind of energy. Yes, I shared that with my son, but I shared the experience in a safe space with someone that understands how to handle these kind of things. This is my 13-year-old projector, super conscious being, and it wasn't from a state of like venting or being nasty or like posting it all over social media and like telling everyone, calling up everyone and telling them about it. That can actually make the situation worse. So have some kind of a elevated way of releasing those kind of things. Second thing, to lower your density, is still in number one, is taking care of your human needs. If you are you claim to be a spiritual person, but you don't take care of your human needs, I'm going to have to challenge this level, because you can't even reach states of spiritualness when you're bypassing the physical needs that you have. If you remember from Maslow's hierarchy of needs, in order to even be a conscious, self-aware person, you need to make sure you're out of fight or flight. You need to make sure that your basic requirements as a human being are being met. That means that you're sleeping well, you're eating the proper human diet, you know, not eating chemicals and things like that all the time. Now, I have days where I have, you know, indulgences here and there, but like I would say right now I'm in athlete mode, so 100% of my diet is like clean. But when I'm in maintenance mode, it might be like 80-20, 80% clean, 20%. But be aware. The point that I'm trying to make is not perfection, but it's awareness. Be aware of what you're eating and how it's impacting you. Okay. So second one I'm going to say, part of my spiritual hygiene is grounding, earthing, some people call this. When we make contact with the bare ground, the earth, there are things in us that are released back into the earth to be cleansed, and then there's things that we bring from the earth into our own embodiment. And this is a very important process. It's like for millions of years we walked barefoot and we had a lot of contact with the earth, and now we wear these rubber soles and that blocks that contact. There is a wonderful documentary on YouTube called Earthing the Movie. If you just Google, you know, Earthing the Movie, it will come up, and it gives you all of the science and the importance behind, you know, making sure that you do make contact with the earth. I do this every single day. I do this in my backyard. I also go for an evening walk with my family every evening, and either on our way out or back in, we all take off our shoes and make sure that we're walking on the grass. If you absolutely cannot do this, here is a backup plan for you. I will go ahead and link this in the show notes of this, depending on whether you're watching this in one of my courses or on YouTube. This is a grounding mat. It is plugged into the electrical socket, and because hopefully where you live, the electricity is properly grounded, it needs to be actually. So when you plug that in, you can get sort of that like secondhand grounding through that. So have this mat as a backup option. Maybe you live in a very cold place and it's not really easy for you to go out, or you know, maybe it's winter. So I have this as a backup plan. I do go you know, outside every single day. I live in Texas, so it is easy for me to do so. However, I have this as like a mat underneath my bed, so when I step out of my bed every morning, this is like my like rug so that I'm like grounding throughout the day and releasing the things that need to be released and taking in the things that I need to be taking in. So have some kind of a ritual around that. We got all of our mats. We have them for the whole family. We also have the ones that are wristlets and the feet one. So we got them off of Amazon. Third is to grid your energy for divine protection. You want to make sure that you are aware of where your energetic body ends and where someone else's starts. So scientifically, we've discovered that it's about an arm's length out in all directions. So like this would be like my bubble of my physical space, and you want to make sure that you're properly gridding this. And one easy way that you can do this, there's like 1,000 ways to grid your energy, but this easy way is just closing your eyes or even keeping them open and just becoming aware of the edges, the outer boundaries of your glow bubble, as I call it, and then filling it up with golden divine creator substance. So just take a moment of doing that. It's filling it up with golden divine creator substance. And as I was doing that with my eyes closed, I imagined that it looked like I have this, like, I got my nails done really different. It's like a very pearl type, I don't know if it's showing up on camera, but it was this like very pearl, white, golden, pink light. And so when I'm aware of my energy, I'm becoming aware of the boundaries, which helps keep my energy in it and other people's energy out, if that's what I want, right? Obviously in divine union and relationship, we are merging those energies, and that's a lot of fun as well. But we don't want to do that with random people, especially people with lower energy vibrations, okay? Fourth one is something that you've probably heard my son Armand talk about a lot if you follow him on Instagram or if you've had a reading done with him, is emptying out your centers, your energetic centers. Most, you know, especially if you're a reflector or a projector, but this can be true of some of the other types as well. If you have a lot of open centers, that means that you receive other people's energy in those centers and amplify them and amplify that energy. So obviously, as you can imagine, that's not always good. It could be good. For example, if I'm hanging out with Uncle Joe, who's a very wealthy, conscious person, that'd be great. I want to take Uncle Joe's wealthy, conscious energy and amplify it. But if I'm hanging out with, you know, crazy Aunt Sally, who's like level 10 cray, if I take her energy and amplify it, well, what kind of shenanigans am I going to get myself into? So having some kind of a ritual for emptying out those centers. One of mine is just honoring my boundary around having alone time every day. This was really hard for me when I first got married because I had a lot of guilt around, you know, having alone time, and I didn't want to hurt my husband's feelings. And then as I, you know, had more children, that was a whole nother thing of like, is it okay to have alone time when I'm a mother? Do I need to be attached to my children 24/7? And so I had to work through those things. But now I unapologetically not only take that alone time every single day, but I encourage my family to do the same because they also need to empty out their centers, okay? Another one that I would put in emptying out your centers also kind of goes with number 6. This is number 4, but I'll just talk about it now, is trusting my intuition when someone's energy seems off. Instead of judging them, instead of trying to figure out why, just trusting that that energy does not need to mix with my energy and just distancing myself a little bit. Sometimes these people can be relatives or friends or people that I have to deal with in some manner, but that doesn't mean I need to be like up close. Like even having this much distance from them, meaning this much distance from my energy field and that much distance from theirs, right? So double this, and just keeping a little bit of a distance or cleansing my energy when I am having to encounter them. And how I cleanse my energy is, I'll talk about that in number 7 actually. I'll talk a little bit about that. But just trust your intuition in this. I have felt off energies from certain people, and then I was like, but why? They're so sweet, blah, blah, blah. But then I stopped myself and I'm like, you know what? I don't have to explain it. I don't have to go into what a great person they are and maybe it's just me. No, my intuition is saying, stay away from this person. It might be secondhand exposure. Maybe that person hung out with someone that was really nasty and they're still carrying that in their field, and that's what my intuition is saying. So I trust my intuition 1000% now, and I do not second guess that. You know, it's just like when you go to a party, let's say, and someone's smoking in there and then your like hair reeks of smoke. It's just like that. You can pick up other people's energy and be wearing that, and there's nothing wrong with you necessarily, but someone who's very intuitive can pick up on that, and they might be feeling like they need to step back from you, okay? Number 5 is water, but not just water, electrolyte water, so like salt water. If you look at the word electrolytes, it is what gives us our magnetism, our electricity. So when I got into like the whole fitness and like health journey thing, I started drinking a lot of water, and then I got a warning from my doctor after my blood work. She said, Mina, you are drinking too much water and you are depleting your electrolytes. Your salt levels are super low. And I was like, wait, that drinking too much water is a thing? I did not realize that. So when I did more research on this, I realized it wasn't just about drinking a whole bunch of water. That can actually kill you, especially if you're an athlete, because it will deplete your salt. It's about drinking the right type of water. So, you know, water with some sea salt in it, or even just taking a supplement. I take this supplement that's it's really promoted in the carnivore community, and that's how I eat when I'm in athlete mode. So I just take that one. I'll go ahead and link it for you in the description if you guys want to check it out at least. But taking some kind of electrolyte supplement is good too. I don't take it every day, but when I feel like I need it, I will go ahead and put a little dropper in my water, because it has no taste, so it doesn't alter your water, and it doesn't break your fast, in case you guys are wondering. So make sure it's not just about water, it's about taking in your electrolytes, okay? That's also spiritual hygiene for you. Number 6 is being careful of foreign energy. I touched on this a little bit in trusting your intuition. Foreign energy is energy that hasn't earned the right to be in your field. This is a really huge concept in the East with male foreign energy. Because of the potent power of feminine energy and the magnetism that the masculine can feel towards it, this is not just healthy masculine, you know, the predator types can also feel that magnetism, and they want to steal some of that energy for themselves, and without even realizing it sometimes. And so, you know, in my culture, we have this concept of not being alone with or too close with foreign male energy. And foreign male energy is anyone that's not your husband, your brother, your father, your son, or your uncle, because, you know, that's foreign male energy. You don't know their intentions. And so just having that extra layer of sort of so what I do when I have to interact with people that's like foreign male energy is I put on what I call my brother-in-law shawl, because I still want to be open. I still want to be warm and loving and inviting, but I would treat them as I would treat my brother-in-law. So I want to be a little bit protected in my energy. I don't want to open up my polarity to them, right? I don't want to open up my full magnetism towards them. That's for my husband. So what I do is I do that glow bubble and just become aware of my own boundaries around that field, and I limit eye contact. I don't want to make them think I'm avoiding them, so I will make eye contact, but it will be for very small. So here's an example of it, you know, and then looking away, like small. Versus with my husband, there's going to be an added sort of like opening there. Like notice that my eyes are a little bit different now, because I'm opening up my sexual body versus closing my sexual body while still opening my heart, okay? So they can still feel like loving, warm energy. As a sister-in-law, I would want to give that to them, but they are not going to be able to access my sexual body. And you can use brother-in-law energy with colleagues, you know, with anyone that is foreign male energy for you, all right? I would say the same also applies to certain women. Some women can have that very much of like take your energy kind of vibe. And so just being careful around that. You know, don't just be, you know, I know that sometimes we just want to make friends and we want to get to know people, but keep yourself gridded until you get to know people, okay? Give it time to evolve. You don't have to just get so excited and just open up all your energy and like start merging even with female friendships too quickly. Like, I'm not saying be closed off or standoffish, be warm and open, but at the same time, give the relationship time to progress, okay? It takes time to get to know people and how their energy is. 7, which is the final one, is to cleanse your energy daily. I absolutely love Palo Santo for cleansing. I've been using it for many, many years. I'm sure you've heard me talking about it. I do not prefer to use sage. If you are new to energy work and cleansing and all of this stuff, I would actually advise you not to use sage. Sage creates a very deep vacuum in the space and takes even the good things out of the energy field. And because of that, if there is a portal open in your space, let's say that your home or your building or wherever you are doing this cleansing was built on an old cemetery, and because of that there's sort of a portal open, and there's earthbound souls kind of trapped in there. And if you do sage, some of the things that may be protecting you from them, some of the loving energy, some of the ancestral protection that you might have, will now get zapped up, and now they have an open channel to you. How Palo Santo is different is Palo Santo removes the bad energy and fills it up with feminine energy, with clean, loving energy. It doesn't remove the good stuff. And so there is a level where you can use sage. I personally still don't use it. I recently found out that my house, my brand new house, it's built on very clean grounds. There were no, wars or battles or cemeteries or anything nasty here. So now that literally gives me permission to start using sage. But even then, I haven't started using it yet. I just prefer Palo Santo. So I just kind of wanted to add that. You can also use the 3 S's to cleanse your energy, and that is smoke. That's why I like Palo Santo. We use incense in the East is because it creates smoke. So it's smoke, sunlight, and sound. I used to be very surprised as a little girl when I would see my grandmother walking through the house saying prayers and then clapping 3 times. And so that clap, it seals the deal. That's why we do this when we say prayers in the divine feminine field as well. So some kind of chanting, high vibration music, clapping, speaking. So what I do is when I'm cleansing, I speak the prayers out loud so that my sound, the high vibration of my sound, can cleanse the energy. And wherever possible, make sure that you give your room, your space, yourself time to be in the sunlight. Sunlight is very, very cleansing. So yep, that is my video for today. I hope you enjoyed this and got something out of it. Let me know in the comment which one was your favorite, or if there was one that you have never heard about. I would love to hear more. And if this video does enough, then I will leave it on YouTube, because it was intended to be in the wife group coaching, but I'm going to leave it on here if it gets enough comments and likes. So I love you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.